We're ready.
Yep.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, I'm Jacob. Our group also includes JD, Nick, Noah, and Tyler, and this is the PokeCompanion app. So first, we're going to take a real quick look at the problem that the app is trying to solve. Pokemon team builders and IV calculators are typically not very useful while you're actively playing the game. They might be good for competitive players, but they're difficult to use and also difficult to understand what all of the individual variables and acronyms mean. And in addition, usually you cannot save the results for reference for future playthroughs. Now we're going to take a real quick look at the technologies that we used while building this app. So our main program that we used was Android Studio, which was where we built our app. It has all of our Java and XML code. We also used Firebase to store user information and also to store all the information about the Pokemon that we want to pull from. Finally, we used Inkscape to make graphics, and here I'm going to let JD talk a little bit about that.
Inkscape is just a nice little drawing program that we use to create vector graphics for the logo and some of the navigation icons in the app.
And then we also tried to make an iOS port, but to be completely honest, we just ran out of time. Alright, so having talked about our technology, now our user V wants to sign into the app, so I'm going to hand it off to Tyler to talk about that.
Hey, I'm Tyler, and as you can see here, V has just opened up the app and he's playing Pokemon Fire Red here. And he has two options where he can sign in with email or with Google. And V, go ahead and start signing in. The login features are mostly managed by Firebase's authentication that's built into Android Studio. And so all the user's personal information is kept encrypted and safe in their system. And also, when the user first signs in, they are added to the database built into Firebase. And a section is added for their personal Pokemon to be added from the Add Pokemon or Pokédex pages, which you will see later on. Then he's going to get signed in here, and he's going to be taken to the home page, which was written by JD.
I'm JD, and I was responsible for the newsfeed part of the app. Whenever V starts up the app, he can see all the latest Pokemon news from the web right on the homepage. He can even read these articles in the app without opening them up in his phone's default browser. The newsfeed is just a simple RSS reader that parses through the XML found at PokemonDB.net. The articles are viewable in the app because the app creates an instance of Google Chrome in a separate page.
If he had questions about IVs or EVs, which is the main feature of this app in terms of, how can help you for Pokemon, you can go to the settings here, and there's a frequently asked questions where it'll explain a little bit about how the stats are calculated. So the natures, which can provide a 10% buff or debuff to a Pokemon's stats, or the IVs, which could be a value ranging from 0 to 31, which is a general determinant for how good a Pokemon's stat will be, 0 being the worst, 31 being the best. Pokemon also have a stat influencer called an EV, which is an effort value, but this is always something entirely dependent by the user, and it's not something that a computer can really track because it has to be entirely just the user puts in a bunch of information. So this app does not handle EV tracking, it only handles IVs. And so in this game here, we've got V, and we can go to its Pokemon, and we can see we've got some Pokemon here already. We've got this Dragonite, and so if I want to add this Dragonite into my game, I can just go here to the plus and add this Pokemon right here. I can select what I need, and
So here we have the display of all the Pokemon. As you can see, you can search for a Pokemon that you need, and it should list them by type as well. It's useful to have them by national dex number, so they're easier to navigate for somebody who's currently playing the game.
Hey, my name's Noah Jackson. So we got V entering his Dragonite that he already had. So what V is going to do on this page essentially is, as you see here on the actual game, there's attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and speed. Now all these statistics play in a part to tracking the actual IV of the Pokemon. So while V's filling in this information, he has to specifically make sure it matches up to exactly what's inside the game. Because if V puts in a stat that's too high, too low versus the Pokemon's level or whatnot, the calculations won't be correct, and he won't be properly able to store the Pokemon and also track the Pokemon's IV. So also at the bottom, there's 2 spinners that are populated by the Pokemon's nature and also a Pokemon's ability. So the nature also comes into play when tracking a Pokemon's IV and making sure that it's stored inside the Firebase database under the user's account effectively. After V fills out all the information that's necessary on this page, or if he chooses so, at the top he can click pick a Pokemon to fill in another Pokemon, or if he doesn't want to let the Dragonite be stored inside the app, he can change it. So after he fills in all the values, the level, nature, and ability, he hits submit and it pushes it to his account.
So now V is going to click on the personal dex or your team button, which is going to take him to a nice list view of the current Pokemon he has added and stored into the database.
If you select on that, it brings you to a new page, which allows you to see a little bit more in-depth information about your Pokemon. It shows the same stats you put up before, but now it allows you to calculate, and this will provide you what the Pokemon's hidden IV values are. So we can see here this Dragonite actually has really good stats, and a lot of this is influenced by the fact that this Dragonite has been trained by us throughout the game. So a lot of his stats are going to be a lot higher than if we had just caught a Dragonite out in the wild at level 55. And we can also use this to, as instead of just something as a Pokemon that we can see how strong a Pokemon has become, we can also use it to find out how strong a Pokemon is right at the beginning when we catch it. So we can go into the game here and catch up a new Pokemon and get this Meowth. And I can catch it hopefully relatively fast. Nice. Very first try. So I was able to catch this Meowth, this level 10 Meowth. And so if we want, we can already go right in here. I'm not going to add a nickname to the Pokemon. We can go back to the app and click add, and we've got a new option. We can add a new Meowth. This is my mistake, I apologize. My keyboard is acting up, so I'm just going to disconnect it and I'll use a different keyboard to input this data for the Meowth this time. So here we go, we'll add a Meowth. M-E-O. And then we'll just go through here and add the stats like we did before. So 28, 23, 16, 13, 14, and 13. And this is a level 10 Meowth. That is a serious nature. Has that pickup ability, so we can go ahead and submit this new Meowth that we just got. And so we can look at the Meowth's stats here again, and see them pulled up here. And now we can do a quick calculation, and yikes, that's not very good. That means we got some pretty bad statistics for this Meowth here.
So given that these stats are bad, somebody who's playing the game might want to catch a new Pokemon or even a different Meowth who might have better stats.
Yeah, exactly.
And this would be something that would be almost impossible to determine just from playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
And say V is actually done playing the game for today, he can go to the settings page and sign out and, you know, go on doing whatever else he wants to do for the rest of the day. And that is it for our little showcase for our app.
Yeah, that's our demonstration of the PokeCompanion app. Just for to make sure everyone knows, I am Nicholas Miller.
I'm JD Edwards.
I'm Noah Jackson.
I'm Tyler Moorhead.
I'm Jacob Letizia, and this has been the PokeCompanion app. Thank you for checking out our showcase.
Solid.